Chow!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim, and I'm here to do something fun. We're going to do an unboxing of a great many things. And today I'd like to welcome my first ever channel sponsor, bladeandbeam.com. And Blade and Beam is a family-owned business owned by Dillard and Rachel George. And these are seemingly as excited about all things EDC as we are. Today, I'm going to be unboxing a full box of goodies that I'll be doing individual reviews on later on. Not too much later on because they need to get the stuff back so they can put them out there for their drop. But I thought I'd share the excitement of the first contact with everything with all of you guys. Now, each knife and each light that I'm going to be showing here in the unboxing are going to get their own individual fully detailed reviews. This is simply an unboxing. And that's it. All right, so I think I've opened the box upside down, but let's get to the first item. This is cool. Not a knife and not a light. This is actually pretty awesome because I've already got one of these and I've had it for a number of years. This is the Prometheus Design Works SPD workmat. And honestly, for 30 bucks, these things can't be beat. I've had mine for about 3 or 4 years, and I've beaten the living hell out of it in my shop making knives. And it can be cleaned with a number of degreasers and harsh chemical cleaners and cleaned back to looking pretty much like new again. Let me get this out of the crinkly, noisy plastic off camera. All right, and here we go. I dig this. I think this is awesome. And let me know down below in the comments if this is acceptable for me to start using in my videos, because I think it's neat. I think it would be a cool way to organize things when I'm doing videos. But if you guys think it's an eyesore, then I won't do that, because these are obviously not made for, you know, video reviews and props and stuff like that. They're a work mat, but I kind of dig the idea. And there's that. That's pretty darn cool. Okay, now, so I could put my little ray light up there, and I can put my little ace beam up there, because I'm going to be making some comparisons, because I already know most of everything that's in this box. And I know that there is a special 14500 sized flashlight in there, and I wanted to pull these out of my collection for a little comparison because it is actually one of my favorite form factors available today. I think 14500 sized lights are fantastic, provided it's a company that gives you enough performance out of it. Now, let's see what else is in the box. A big box inside. Does it say on the sides? No, I know what this is though. It's the only thing that would be this large in this box. There's a COA card in here. Let's see. What a random and unstructured video this is going to turn into. Okay. See if we can get the camera to focus on that. Maybe even zoom in just a little bit. Oh yeah, this is going to be our first knife of the video. This is from Prometheus Design Works. If you don't recognize that octopus, you should. And this is the SPD and Wilson Safe System 1 Scout. Let's see what all that means. Heyo, the 1980s called, and they want their Soldier of Fortune magazine back. Check this out, man. Let me get this wrapping off of the blade. Oh, okay, here we go. Boy, that brings back some childhood memories right there, man. No way. How friggin' cool is that to have the actual compass built in as well? Okay. This, in my opinion, is straight out of the 80s. It's, think of Soldier of Fortune magazine, like I said, but so many other magazines from that time period, early to mid 1980s, the back covers that got kids like me all excited and turned into knife lovers. This is what we were always gawking over. We wanted a survival knife. We wanted a knife like Rambo had. Now, this is considerably smaller than the Jimmy Lyle knives, obviously. But there were a lot of knives in this size in that era that were being sold. And it's funny because you could get some of these things. I don't know what countries they were made in, but man, those things would be 20, 30, 40, $50 out of the back of the magazines. And they were garbage. My parents bought me a few of those. Those were my first introduction into knife collecting. They weren't my first knives, but they were the first things that I started collecting. And as a result, I turned into a complete knife freak. So this brings back a lot of really awesome memories. Nice cord wrap on here. Nice size finger guard on there as well. And by the way, the threading on that cap for the hollow handle is very nice and very, very smooth. Get back in there. That feels really good. And it's got the O-ring on there, so it's got a gasket, so it is going to be watertight to some degree. So yeah, you can keep your matches and your stuff like that in there and they won't get wet. So this is going to be good for campers and people like that. Or again, if you just want to kind of relive your childhood, if you're Gen X like I am, this would be a great way to do it. You've got a nice, very thick leather sheath on there as well. This is where you would normally have the sharpening stone for the blade, and you would see those in all of the reproductions throughout the 80s as well. Now, from what I recall, I looked this up when Rachel let me know when the box was coming, and I think this was right around $750 or so. So I see why the leather is so overdone. The welts are done so well. This is a really, really, really nice setup all the way around. This certainly is not a $200 or $300 knife. This is a much more expensive fixed blade knife. And it looks pretty damn nice. So I'm going to put this to the side. This will be getting a full review shortly. Let's get the COA back into its little sleeve. It's a nice presentation as well. And we're going to dive deeper into this very shortly in order to understand the pricing and understand the quality level that's gone into it. Okay, with that big beast out of the way, I think we can lower the tripod a little bit and give a little bit more of an intimate look at things. I think I can slide this back. Yeah. And now we're going to take a look at something new from Tactile Turn. Tactile Turn's been around for a while. I know that a lot of people have fallen in love with their pens and their pen-shaped hideaway knives. I have one of each of those myself, and I've had those since, I want to say about 2016, so they've definitely been around for a while. This, however, is going to be a flashlight. Now, I haven't followed everything a Tactile Turn has done over the past few years, so I don't know if this is their first flashlight or if this is one of many. And I guess I have to peel this. Oh, okay. I didn't want to ruin the packaging here because this is not mine to keep. There we are. Well, isn't that a classy way to present your light? And I like the sound too because I'm a large child. Put that back together so I can make it pop again later. Wow, that's got quite a bit of power to it, doesn't it? I like the clicky. Feels really, really good. And let's see if we can get a close-up on this. I don't know if it's going to play well on camera, but the center of the titanium body, where it kind of hourglasses in, is very smooth, machined titanium. And then you have all of this, which is ridged. What a nice, well, tactile feeling. Not to throw the pun out there, but that feels really, really nice. So as you're holding it naturally, your middle finger is generally going to drop into the waistline of the light, and you're going to tend to kind of reach up onto the head. And that's exactly where that little bit of traction is. They did a really nice job on that. Now, I'm not sure that I would choose this over a ray light or some other lights that are in this comparable $299 price range. But to be honest, $299 in titanium is not a bad deal at all. And it's definitely within reach for many collectors, more so than like a Hanko or something like that. And that's just based purely on the price. It's going to be a lot less expensive. Now here it is up against my Raylight Land Apple, which funny enough, and this, I'm going to digress here for a minute. This was my introduction into Blade and Beam because I had heard people talk about them a little bit, and I had seen all of the advertising they did across Facebook. And I went, well, those are two things I love. I love knives and I love lights. That sounds like the great kind of place for me. And I checked it out once, clicking through on one of the ads. And I saw they had really cool stuff at pretty good prices. But I wasn't familiar with how they did everything. And I thought maybe it was going to be the kind of thing where you have to join a membership or something. Because it kind of, the way it's presented, the way that it looks, it kind of looks like a membership site. You know, where you kind of vote for the products that you want to see come in, or you vote the pricing down. And we've discussed websites like that in the past that I've purchased from. But this is different. This is a straight up enthusiasts retail website. You don't need to be a member or do anything silly like that. You just go there when you want to buy shit. Also, they do drops every Friday. So they do a weekly drop on Fridays. And not only are their prices fantastic, but their shipping is fast and their customer service is awesome. And that's what I experienced when I bought this. Now, this wasn't expensive. It wasn't cheap either. But I mean, Ray lights are fantastic quality lights. So I could definitely see why they hopped in with Tactile Turn. And this is a really, really nice size light. Looks like a pretty simple UI. And that puts it almost identical in size to my Polka light here, my Ace Beam Polka light, which is also titanium. And I've had a recent love affair with 14500s. I have a number of them now, and it's slim, it's short, it's easy to carry in your pocket, yet if it's the right brand, they're still packing quite a bit of power into them. For example, this one right here, from what I recall, was right around 500, 550 lumens, somewhere around there. Sapphire lens, really nicely done, clicky, and it's recessed well, so that number one, it can tail stand, but number two, it's not going to fire off accidentally in your pocket. And half presses don't seem to do anything either. You have to go full click to access your modes. This is most likely driven off a CWF driver. I'm not going to say that for sure just yet. All these items I'm bringing out, I'm just kind of showing to you, and I do have to dig in and do some research before I actually do a review. So look forward to that. I'll be doing a review on this in the next couple of days. Let's get this. You know, I don't want to put it back in the box because I don't want to keep peeling at this and possibly tearing it. So I'm going to put this off to the side, make sure it doesn't get damaged anywhere. And now we'll make our way through the box into another Tactile Turn product. And it says bolt action, so I'm going to assume that this is a pen. Could be the bolt action knife, I don't know. Aha, okay, it is the pen. And this is going to have that same ridged milling that the Apollo did. What a wonderful feeling that is. I dig that a lot. Their bolt action is so smooth, by the way. I've seen a lot of companies that have copied this. I mean, for those of us that remember, Brian Felter was really the first guy to do this. And a lot of companies came along and copied his design. And they were kind of janky. Like you could just feel the bolt as it would slide along the channel. And it would get hung up in here and not snap back quickly. This one, all you got to do is just bump it. That's it. You don't have to push it and knock it over and then release it like some of the cheap copies. This is really nice feeling. And yes, if you're wondering, it is a one-handed operation. So if you're stuck punching a clock, working in an office or an environment where you do have to have a pen with you at all times, this is a cool way to represent that you are in the EDC community, that you're into cool stuff, even though you're a slave to the time clock. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know that I'm going to do a full review on this, so let's give you guys a couple of quick close-up looks while I'm able to. You've got a flat top back here. There's your bolt release. Nice milled titanium clip. The whole body is titanium. I'm not sure what refills they use. I'm sure there's quite a number of reviews on YouTube that can give you that explanation. I apologize for not knowing that. And the information was most likely going to be on Tactile Turn's website as well. So there you go. Proudly designed, machined, and assembled in Texas. Indeed they are. The very first time I met the guys at Tactile Turn, it was actually at the Texas. It was before Blade Show bought out the Texas show. It was when it was just for us in the Knife Makers Guild. That was our yearly guild show. It had just moved to Texas. Jerry Moen's the one that started it. And I was there that first year displaying my knives that I made. It was the year that I had presented my 4 knives to be brought up from probationary status to voting member status. No, I apologize. It was my second time at my initial inspection to become a probationary member of the Knife Makers Guild. Some people thought it was easy for me to do somehow. I actually had to do it twice. The first year that I did it, and I had brought my knives to Kansas City, where the old show used to be, and had them inspected. Somehow, between then and almost 2 years later to that guild show in Texas, they had lost all of the paperwork that I had turned in with my inspection. So I didn't get in right away. So I had to wait, and I had to make 4 brand new knives and bring those in for inspection. And then I finally got in. So there's my little backstory as well. And the first time I actually got to meet them with Tactile Turn was at that show, and they were just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And that was when I got my pen and I got my retractable pen knife, which I still have both to this day, and I think they are darn awesome. The quality is outstanding. You'll never regret buying one of their pens. They feel great. And I've got a lot of custom pens. I've got some made by Michael Ziba. I've got, oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time remembering all the pens that I've got. And some of them were tremendously more expensive. And I mean tremendously. And this has held up very well. Oh, my Grimsmo. I have a Grimsmo pen that I love. And those are like $300. So when I tell you that I can very easily reach for this pen and be very, very happy with using it, and the quality is great, hopefully that means something. Okay, now we're going to get to a knife. Wait. Oh no, this is not a knife. Not a knife at all, as a matter of fact. Oh man, how cool is that? Oh, this feels every bit as nice as I hoped it would. As a matter of fact, since I had brought these out for comparisons with the 14500 lights, I want to bring out something else that I think is going to compare favorably to this. Hold that thought. There we go. Now, these are not going to have the same battery type, but as I started looking at this, with them both being triple emitters and both being made of titanium, I thought it was worthy of bringing out. And I think because I know what the price is on this, or ballpark what the price is on this, doing this comparison is going to help you understand what a bargain this light actually is. This is the Yellow Day Energy NFRZ trip emitter in titanium. Now, I had actually specifically requested this light because I've been looking at these on the Blade and Beam website for a little while now, and I had no idea what the quality was like. And I wanted to see one of these and feel one in my hands before laying out the money to buy one for myself, because these are about $565. Now, I realize some of you in the back just choked on your own spit, but realize the light that's sitting right here, this is $1,000. So this is half the price of this one, and they're relatively close in their power output. It's the exact same driver, and I think maybe I would venture a guess the exact same emitters are being used. Now, mine as equipped, because mine has not titanium, has tritium tubes all the way through it. This is actually $1,300 as it sits. This was the light that I designed a few years back. That's called the Cylon, that I manufacture with Jordy over at Focus Design Works. And Focus is just amazing. Jordy is an absolute genius. There's a reason why this is as expensive as it is, because the machining was darn near impossible. But the reason I was interested in this one was also because of the machining. I mean, take a look at how beautifully executed this is. I mean, it's kind of pimp, right? It's kind of high-end luxury looking. Standard McClicky back here, so you've got your half presses, and just like mine, first half press brings you to the auxiliary. Second press is high auxiliary, then your low, medium, and high. Oops, actually I have mine set for low and high. So same here, low auxiliary, high auxiliary, low, high. Yep, same exact setup in both. So that is absolutely, definitely a Dragon driver. And I want to see one thing. See if it has a glow gasket in it. It does. So you have the glow gasket built in. Same thing going on here. So yeah, for a fraction, for less than half the price of this, you have a much easier to carry size light, because it's an 18350 battery inside instead of an 18650. You've got 5000K Samsung emitters running at over 1600 lumens. I think it's 1650 lumens. And there will be a full review on this. Even if y'all don't want to see it, I don't care. I'm going to do it for me because I want more time with this. I want to take it outside and do beam shots, and I want to do all the fun stuff with it, because I am very strongly considering getting one of these, maybe in one of the other materials. Not that there's anything wrong with the titanium. I think it's great. But they had a few more even pimpier? What's the correct word there? Somebody let me know. Is it pimper or pimpier? Anyway, because I think there was also a zirconium, which, yeah, that's got to be around $1,000. But man, I like how this feels. I like the size of it. And I like the slight taper from the long head down to the body. I don't know if the camera's quite picking that up because it looks like a straight body, but it's not. So the head is running all the way back here. And then it tapers down to the size of the body. There's your rear clicky switch. And there's your triple Samsung emitters. This is real nice. Now, because I forgot to verbally mention it earlier in the video, I probably only put it up with text. One of the big reasons that I'm working with Blade & Beam is because they're offering two really great things. Only one really affects you. In the description of all the videos I'm going to be doing, and I think I could do it on this video as well, I think it's already started, there's going to be an affiliate link. If you click through that link and you use my discount code, which is this, my name in all caps, you get to save some money. And I want to be very clear about this. Using that link doesn't add anything to your price. It gives you a discount, and I get a little to keep my channel going. That's kind of how that works. So you get a discount. I get a little bit of a hand helping to keep the channel running. Because let me tell you, it has become more and more challenging as the years have gone by. Let's see what else is in this box. Oh my goodness. Lots of small PDW boxes. Woo! Let's see what's in all these. Go big or go home, right? Let's start with the largest size box. Yeah. Oh, man, that is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Now, you might be looking at that thinking, oh, what is this? Is this a flashlight? No, it's not, my friends. It is not a flashlight. This is a stash tube. Now, for those of you that had a lot of druggy friends, that has one meaning. For those of us in the EDC community, it has an entirely different meaning. So if anything that you want to store when whether you're a prepper, whether you're the kind of person that just keeps everything, in their truck and we're kind of ready to go, kind of a, shit hit the fan kind of thing, or you do a lot of camping or outdoor stuff, fishing, things like that, and you want to keep certain things that are emergency items and keep them dry and away from the elements, stash tubes are really good for that. This one has a really awesome frag pattern all the way through it. Feels nice and grippy. Feels really nice, actually. It's one of the nicest feeling frag patterns I've handled. But PDW kind of does everything right. I've always been a fan of theirs. I didn't think I would care much about this. I also thought it was like, that tiny, like a little keychain size thing. But this is actually a lot more useful than I thought it would be. You could use this to carry medications. If you're on like some sort of daily medications and you're going out for the day and you're not going to be back home to take your meds, then this is something that's easy for you to carry with you. You could attach it, by the way, to a keychain if you wanted to, but it's kind of big and heavy for that. I don't know that I would do that. By the way, this is a good demonstration of the mat. One of the things that I love about the mat, which doesn't really apply to something this big, it more applies to little screws and stuff, is it has kind of like this anti-bounce thing going on. So if you drop screws on here, they don't just bounce off your workbench and disappear forever. It's a very muted kind of bounce that it has. All right, so that is the stash tube. I don't know what this costs, but hey, it's a stash tube. It probably doesn't cost that much. What, maybe 50, 60 bucks? Now we're going to see what's in here under the black rubber band. Should I open this first? That feels like a bead link necklace, so that tells me that this is probably going to be the dog tag. Yes, it is. So here you have a tooled or a multi-tool dog tag. which some people will find very, very handy. So you've got the bottle opener. You've got different sizes that you can use to open bolts and nuts and things like that. So this will probably come in handy for a lot of you. Nice emergency tool. You've got a little bit of a pry bar or scraper here on the corner as well. And for those of you that lose stuff a lot, you could put the ball chain on there and carry it around your neck, or hang it over the rearview mirror of the truck, or whatever it is that you do. That's going to be pretty cool. It's actually really, really nice. It looks like it's made of titanium as well. Of course, I mean, being PDW, Prometheus Design Works, I would expect nothing less. And there is that. And that leads into this. What's in this tin? That's right. Check this out. Make sure I don't slice myself open here. This is a nice, small utility blade. I'm going to have to zoom in on this little boy here because it is tiny. So you've got a titanium body. Then you have what looks like an X-Acto knife blade. I'm not going to say for certain that it is because I could be wrong. And I would hate for you to buy this and then run out and buy a bunch of X-Acto blades and they don't fit. But it kind of looks that way to me. Let me lay this down where I'm not moving it around so much, and you could take a better look at it and see if you can figure that out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to glow in the dark. Yes, it do. Because that's just the kind of cool stuff that PDW is up to. All right, so let me put that back. That's another thing that I really like about Blade and Beam. They don't just do lights and just do blades, but they also have a lot of really cool EDC accessories. Also, by the way, if you're into patches and stuff like that, they've always got patches. They've got hanks. If you're into EDC, they pretty much cover everything EDC related at some point. Now, let's see what's in this tin. Oh, okay. I didn't realize they sent two sizes. This was more along the lines of what I had expected size-wise for the stash tube. So you have two different stash tubes, a small and a large, I suppose. And let's back it up so you don't cross-thread it. There you go. Again, really, really nice feeling on the frag pattern. Checkered on the bottom. Now, I'm not much of an outdoorsy individual, so I couldn't list off all the various needs or uses that you would have for this. Get that back in there. But let your imagination run wild. If it'll fit in there, it'll stay watertight. And one more PDW box to go. I assure you, there is a knife coming. I promise. And again, more along the lines of the size that oh, this is not a stash tube. I got tricked again. This is an emergency field lighter. Is the flint installed? Yep. Oh, it also has the fluid in there. I was not expecting that. What's going on there? It smells like Zippo fluid, from what I remember. So if you need an emergency field lighter, that is your ticket right there. Yep, that is definitely Zippo fluid. Okay, only 2 items remain in this overly long unboxing. I did not expect it to go on this long, but boy, they sent a lot of cool stuff. I requested a lot of the things. There were things I saw on their website that I want to touch, I want to feel, I want to experience it. And then there were a couple of things that they thought I would enjoy, and they surprised me with a few of those things. Now, let's see what we've got going on here. Oh, this is the Mini Warrior folder. I know what this is. This is from Beans Blades. Get this open. come on. Having to be super careful because I don't want to mess up packaging that one of you may end up with. Everything should be like a brand new item when you receive it. Okay. Now, I had seen the images on their website. Ooh. Oh, that feels so good. This is tremendously more substantial than I expected. Oh my goodness. So this is the Mini Warrior folder in the Fat Carbon Black Dunes option. Again, I have to remind you, nothing here is a full review. This is just the unboxing. You'll be getting the full review shortly. Now, these are about $445, so definitely not cheap. So this action and the feel of it in my hand makes me feel tremendously better about it already. Because I was thinking, man, there are a lot of other production knives I can get for this price or less. Especially in this 3-inch blade size that we're looking at here. So why would I spend that kind of money on this? A relatively unknown brand, a relatively unknown maker. There are plenty of people that know who Derek Beans is. I'm not trying to throw any shade his way at all. I'm just saying for the general public, you know, if you looked at this and you're like, okay, well, I buy Chavez, I buy Peñas, I buy Ken Onion Designs, I buy this and this and this and this and this. These are all names that you can generally justify the prices that you pay because you already have the knowledge of the quality, the history that you have with their individual products. This is really, really well made. Just for the record, I didn't do this. Came out of the box. You saw it. Oh, look at that. The 6-shooter flat pivot. Love that. The flipper tab is shaped perfectly, and the jimping is done perfectly, which you need because this has a rather sharp detent that's very, very, very well done. I don't know who makes this, but I have 2 guesses. I'm going to guess either Best Tech or Riot. Just by the quality and the feel of it, the machining, the way the action feels, the way the lock disengages, this is definitely going to be in the primo realm of the overseas manufacturers. It feels amazing. And it definitely feels worth the $445, which I was kind of hoping it wouldn't because I don't want to spend the money, but it looks like I'm probably gonna. I need to have one of these in my life, absolutely. This is one I'll be adding to my collection. I don't know if I'm going to go with the black or one of the other many color variations that are going to be available. But yeah, oh, that feels nice. And that super Americanized Tanto blade shape I love. It's very tough looking, very tank-like. Definitely looks like it means business. This is really, really, really nice. So I'm glad I had a chance to experience that because I really was very iffy on this knife. Slide you back in there. I'm guessing this was their photography sample at Blade and Beam because there's an internal plastic sleeve that was cut open that I did not open. And now, what is this? Oh, I've kind of been waiting to do this the entire video. I was excited about this. CWF lights needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever to anybody in the EDC community. But this is their first ever 14500 battery powered light. And that's kind of a big deal. Oh. This is the mini Arcadian. Ooh, that had quite a little blast of power there, didn't it? 520 lumens will do that to you. And out of this size, and this is only, I mean, it's shorter and only a little bit thicker than, I have a Raylight Mini Pineapple, which I carry with me on a daily basis. And this is just a teeny tiny little bit bigger, and it's smaller than my LAN Apple in the length and in the diameter. This is actually going to be easier to carry than that. And I am super excited about the power output that this has. So this is a stonewashed titanium flashlight. Take a quick look here. Nichia emitter with a nice deep dish reflector. Let's get a nice zoom in on that. Get a nice look at that. Looks really, really good. And again, going back to the fact that this is their first ever 14500, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Now they've hit that kind of subcompact market that's so important. Look at the beam pattern in this. Nice defined hotspot, little bit of a corona around that, and then a nice soft spill. Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm going to have a very hard time doing videos like this in the future because I kind of want almost everything that they sent. And you can't do that. There we go. There's some quick specs for you. 219C Nichia, and it's at 5000K for the temperature. And it was just built in March of this year. Super slick, man. That is nice. That is really nice. Okay, that's it for the unboxing. Stay tuned as things progress. I'm going to get to doing some individual reviews on the more popular items that you saw me whip out here. I am super excited for this. I want to thank Dillard and Rachel so very much for helping to sponsor the channel by doing cool stuff like this, and for trusting me with all this wonderful merchandise that I am blown away by some of. I tell you right now, that Beans blade really surprised me. That CW, I'm sorry, the Yellow Day, even nicer than I expected it to be. The Tactile Turn Apollo. There's a lot of really cool stuff here, and then of course this, which may be another that, no, just stop it. Just stop it. You're going to get yourself in trouble. All right, I'm out of here for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you on the next video.